Our Department of Education is the largest agency in GovGuam, largest employer, biggest budget, and I think it's the worst managed.
Governor Felix Camacho says there's no one other than BBMR under the executive branch that's a gatekeeper to the Department of Education. He says there's no accountability and there's no one to watch over them. Camacho feels that this standalone fourth branch of government is doing its own thing and they play politics very well.
Every time an issue comes up, and when it comes to monies, they bring up the children, they bring up the classrooms, they bring up the teachers and say we're going to shut down. Media comes and backs them up, give them a free pass, and everybody, through compassion will find monies for these guys.
According to Camacho, that's not the way it should be done, and it can only be sustained for so long because everyone suffers from the shortcoming of DOE. He says in order for the agency to be properly managed, it needs to be brought back under the executive branch. Camacho also believes DOE should be broken up.
I also believe it needs to be broken up. It's too large of an organization. You've got operations, you've got policy, you've got classrooms and teaching, and they've got to find a way to make this manageable.
GovGuam has always had problems with GDOE, with maintaining the right paperwork and the right accountability for all its federal funding. In a letter from the U.S. DOE that dates back to November of 2009, the federal agency was not happy with GDOE because they were not complying with federal guidelines pertaining to federal money. Attorney Frank Guantautau, the legal counsel for the school board, says GDOE lacked the continuous employment of people in accounting. The agency didn't have enough people, and they weren't trained. But he thinks the agency is getting a handle on their finances.
But since Tolling Taitano has been on board, I've seen a tremendous change in the way that the accounting is done, and that they are doing an effective job, much more effective, because she has accurate figures to the extent that she can tell you, this is how I got the figures, and the figures are consistent. And we ask her at another meeting about the figures. If there's a change, she show exactly why there's a change. So I know she's got her arms around it. It's the biggest agency in the government.
U.S. DOE required GDOE to have a third-party fiduciary agent in place to track and handle all the federal money. Camacho is now relieved that the third party is selected, so federal funds can finally be released to DOE.
But the government of Guam, our line agencies, the general fund has had to provide bridge financing. So all the federal funds that would normally come into DOE over this period of time, we had to bear the burden. All the GovGuam line agencies, all the vendors that are owed money throughout our community have had to bear the burden and to pay the price of DOE.
Camacho says the federal money will eventually be rolling in, and that will bring some relief to GovGuam. David Macaluso, PNC News.